Excuse me, people. Oh, my life, I tell you. Okay. We are live on YouTube. Yeah, that looks good now. Hello, boys and girls. Morning. We're off to Tesco's. It sounds exciting, right? I know. I'm full of exciting shit to do. I'm going to Tesco's because we have a parcel to post in the in-post boxes. And then we are going to walk to town to have a little browse. Because I have to get out the house every day, apparently. For my new health-related issue. I haven't done a mental health update. I'll discuss it in a minute when I've got a couple more people in the chat. And we'll go through a couple of things. And yeah, we'll have a chin wag. But at the minute, we've just got to go to Tesco's and post this parcel, and then we should walk to town. Gonna go in Simon's, the charity shop I always go in. I don't really have a lot of money to spend. I've got like a tenner to my name currently until Friday. But there is nothing wrong with browsing. Browsing is technically not illegal in a shop, just to have a look-see. See what you fancy for the upcoming week to spend. Because you don't always have to buy something. Browsing is perfectly fine. I don't see the harm in browsing. If anything, it still brings trade through your door. I know I'm not buying anything, but sometimes it is nice just to get out and socialize and see people. So yeah. Well, I should have done a mental health check like a week or two ago, but I didn't get my counselling appointment last week. My counsellor was sick, so we didn't get my counselling appointment, which meant I then didn't feel like doing an update. I suppose you call it, debriefed the week to my counsellor, where things have got a little bit stressful in my life. Morning, Subhuman. How are we this morning? Things have got a little bit more stressful in my life. And you're gonna say, but Raven, everybody has a stressful life. And they do. I don't dispute that. What I do dispute is currently I was off work from stress-related mental health. I'm tired, my eyes hurt. Oh, poor Subhuman. I was off work from stress-related mental health, and it's kind of escalated. It's not stress-related mental health anymore. I've actually been diagnosed with mild to severe depression. So things have gone up the scale. They're now saying it's depression rather than stress related to work, which isn't good that it's gone the other way. I was hoping that things had improved, but they have not. So I am off work for another month, which isn't good, but I'm actually going to probably 90% chance I'm leaving my job anyway. I can't really say much because of confidentiality, but I am deciding to leave of my own accord. I can't say much because there's red tape at the minute with confidentiality with it, because People aren't meant to know what's going on outside of my store. But hope you can talk to us more about your depression. I wondered what was causing your depression. Quite a lot of things, actually, Subhuman. I've had quite a lot going on at the minute. A lot. It's a conglomerate of things. I've just got to send a parcel, so okay. Oh, there's no small ones. Ah, shit. Don't want them. You have to go for a medium then. Parcel needs sending. Yeah. Done. Yeah, there was a few factors affecting it, Subhuman. How do I explain it? Well, as you well know, I took myself off of work at Christmas or just after, on the basis that I was having a rough time with my nan, who was suffering from fairly heavy dementia at that time. Oh, had to be a lorry. Hang on a sec. We're outrunning a lorry. Oh. Sorted. Yeah, I remember that. And you also had the car. I also had a car accident. Yeah. So I had the car accident about 5 weeks before Christmas, 4 weeks before Christmas. I had a car accident and I ended up having to take less hours at work due to the car accident. I cut my hours in half. I really shouldn't have been working, but we were short-staffed, and me being me, a good employee, decided not to take any time off, and I worked. Now, probably wasn't the best idea, because in fact my back from that car accident never really, you know, it's I already have a spinal disorder, so it didn't make it any better. Then obviously my nan, bless her heart, was dying at the time, so I was dealing with nan. And then obviously the car accident, work were getting on my back, because I wasn't taking extra shifts, and I weren't taking extra shifts because of the car accident. I was being sensible, because instead of taking the time off, which I probably should have done, so instead of like taking the time off and being away from the store so that I could still be, and from there I was just getting, I suppose you could call it, just annoyed with the whole like situation within work, and I was just getting more and more frustrated, and I really wanted to leave at that point. I was actually considering leaving myself at Christmas, but I'm not really a quitter. I've never quit a job in my life that I've been having problems with. I've usually found a way to work around it and sort it. So I carried on working after the car accident. My boss made a joke which really just set the nail in the coffin for how I was feeling. She made a joke one day and said, I need you to cover tomorrow, and I turned around and said no. I said, you know, I had the car accident, I can't do more than 3 days in a row, you've been told this. And she turned around to her deputy and said, is having a car accident an excuse for not taking the extra shift? And then they laughed at me and they both said no. And I just lost all respect for them at that point. That was it for me. That's cemented how they felt and how I felt. Just no. Just no. That's just wrong. So I got really fucked off, and I opened the store 3 or 4 days before Christmas, and then I never went back. I took my keys in after the last shift I did where I opened the store, and went home and didn't go back. I was meant to have been in the day after Boxing Day, and I called the retail trust on Boxing Day to say that I'd had issues and that I wasn't prepared to go to work, and I didn't end up going to work. I ended up seeing a doctor 3 days later, and then I've been off work ever since. Many things have happened since then, on and off. You know, I've had counselling. We've tried medication. We're trying a combination of stuff to help me. But honestly, I mean, it really just, you know, now that I may be leaving entirely, not necessarily by choice. I don't want to say I'm choosing to leave. I can't say much, confidentiality, but there won't be a store to go back to, basically. It's the confidentiality. There won't be a store. My job is null and void from May. So I am probably taking redundancy and leaving ahead of time. They close in May. I'm planning to get out as soon as I can get a redundancy package together, and I'm going to leave and go on to brighter and better things once my mental health is sorted. And currently I am off sick for the foreseeable future, which pains me because I love working, but I'm just not in the right head frame of mind right now by my doctor, my counsellor, to work. So there's that. This is how things are now going for the foreseeable future. It's obviously not great, but at the end of the day, if it's what has to happen, it's what has to happen. I will take redundancy, which I don't know how much it is yet. That'll be worked out in due course, and then we shall leave and go on to other things. I just don't know what yet. But yeah, you know, you have to do what you have to do, don't you? Let's get ourselves some money. Gonna draw some cash out. Put you on me for a minute. can go get some chippies. Or it is for me anyway. So. Oh, that's a cute little plate. It's got little fishies on. That's cute. Yeah, so we are walking and probably getting some chippies because I am hungry, and then we'll have a look around the charity shops. But chippies I think should come first, yeah? Gonna go to my favourite chippy. We're gonna go to Mr. Chips. Any round. Walk to the chippy. See what the chippy's got to say. Because it's chippy time. And maybe we'll go sit in the dog park. It's probably the best place to go sit. It's the nicer place to sit, and it's quieter as well. So, how's everyone else? Gonna go around here. I know it's early morning in America, like it's only 12 o'clock here, so I don't expect a hive of people like rushing in. But yeah. I'm gonna go over the road, go to Chippy. Yeah, if you can get the government benefit to take them. I have to look into claiming PIP for numerous problems. Currently, I sent my forms off. They're already filmed in, and I've already sent my forms. I'm really waiting just to hear. I do have quite a few ailments, as you well know. So we have the non-curable genetic spine disorder. I also have sensory neural bilateral hearing loss in both my ears. I just woke up one morning and my hearing had gone. It's called sensor neural. Oh, it's got a fancy word. Sensory neural bilateral something or other. It's got a really posh word for just waking up half deaf. Then I am underweight, have an eating disorder. I know, I'm just like lucky like that. And then I have the depression with the counselling. So it all, you know, it's all kind of rolled into one. But it's not been just like a couple of weeks. It's been longer. So you know. Oh, Chippy ain't open yet. Oh, Chippy's. What time is Chippy open? We might have to go to charity shop first then, and then go Chippy. We'll have to go to charity shop. We'll walk to hospice. What was the one alcoholic beverage you ordered at the pub? It was in a blue bottle, and I think it was vodka flavoured. What was that when I was away? Was that when I went on holiday? The beverage you drank at the pub in the blue bottle? I think it was WKD. They do have a couple of names in the UK depending on where you drink. But I think the one I had was WKD. I think it was when you were away. Yeah, WKD. It's a really nice vodka drink, like an Alco Pop. It isn't very strong, but you know. the cocktails I drank at my sister's birthday was a lot more than that, I tell you. The cocktails we had at Pop World the other week, oh my god, I drank quite heavily that night. Probably didn't do my liver any good, which is also going to be having some tests in a couple of weeks, but you know, I only really drink once a year, so I don't know why my liver's failing, but you know, oh well, we'll just add it to the list of shit that's running in my life. Because look at me, I look fit and healthy, but apparently my liver begs to differ. Even an eating disorder can't save my liver. Yeah, WKD blue. There are different colours. I do prefer the blue WKD compared to all the rest. There are other colours of the KD spectrum, but I do prefer the blue one. I do have the red one sometimes, but like I don't really drink that often. The only times I really drink are like birthdays, Christmas, parties. And to be fair, I don't really go to many parties, and we only go clubbing like every 3 months. Like, we went clubbing in February. We'll probably go clubbing in June for my birthday. We'll go clubbing probably near Halloween again. Or we'll go to the party at the Attleborough Snooker Club, which I did last year. Apart from that, I don't really drink, so, you know. But this one, look, see, look, there it is, look. WKD blue, but they also have like this one, which I think is a pineapple, or it's either pineapple or mango. Surprisingly, we were talking about it and then we just happened to walk past it, innit? What was I saying? Yeah, that's yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah. They do quite a few of them. There's a red one, there's a blue one, there's an orange one. There is quite a few colours on that drink. I'm gonna take a look in the charity shop and get me out of the house for a bit before I go crazy. Oh. And get myself out of there. Oh, that's cute. Look at that. How cute is that? Look at that all. Say your name. So if I just write his name on there, yeah, name and postcode, yeah. And then I'm going to have it with them. Right, so what's your name, please? Have a look round. We'll go to the back first. We always check the back. Hey, Julie.
Yeah, how are you?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Yeah, not bad, thank you.
Good. We're going to go down the back and look at the back. I mean, I do have new shoes on. But, yeah, as you well know, we used to work here many, many moons ago. Good 10, 12 years ago. Haven't really got any money to spend, but as I said, I love the fact they do pound shoes. I just never find them in my size. Kind of sucks. They're cute. I mean, look at that one. Really cute boot. It's a size 5. And it's £1. I mean, can't beat it, can you? Little strappy ones. Not really my thing. See, I like more of a chunky heel, like this. Like a square block heel. I can't have dinky heels. They're quite nice because they've got the little crossover bit. They're a 7. Cool, they are heavy, aren't they? They're a 7. They're actually quite nice. Also have men's ones
the other day,
as well.
I'll put the knitwear under there, just because it looks so empty out there, isn't it? Yeah.
Brown ones?
Yeah, makes it a bit more
It's lovely.
spread out, doesn't it?
Brown.
Oh, don't know. Excuse me.
All right. See, everyone knows me. Everyone knows me here. Right. You've had a look at the shoes. Time to look at the surround. Although the shoes are quite nice. That black shoe looks quite nice. But we don't get paid till Friday, so today is what we call pre-browsing. To get me out of the house before I go crazy. Because being off of work for so long, I'm just going mad at home. And I can't get authorised to go back to work, so I'll just browse. I do have the £5 on me. I could buy something rather than buying chips. Although I do really want chips. The choices. They have really nice stuff. I mean, that. Papaya is a really good brand. Okay, you've got F&F Tesco's, you've got Marks and Spencer's. There's some good little brands on there. Not everything is to my taste because obviously I generally wear black. Although my shoes are green now. I actually have 2 different pairs of green shoes, which surprises everyone. But, I mean, this is quite a cool colour. Matches my shoes, near enough. Let's have a look. Take the other side. Oh, look. Dusty pink. See, look, it's really cute. Got a dress. You got your little sleeve top. It's from Roman Originals, and it's £1. Look at it. Entire summer outfit there. Yellow. Not really into it. Hang on a sec. I'll put you down a sec. Hang on. Over. I've knocked an item off. Sorry, I knocked an item off and I can't stand leaving it on the floor. Trousers as well. They do trousers on here too. You get something like this, like chocolatey brown. Oh, that's another shirt. I actually got a coat in here the other day for £1 that was actually in green. You'd have. I don't know if I show you my coat. I paid £1 for it, and it actually matches my shoes. I haven't worn it yet because it's not quite warm enough to wear a light coat. Not quite for me, anyway. Not with how ill I've been recently. It won't be worth it. See, that's quite cute. Okay, it's a 14. You get the red dress with the little bow. Okay, it's coming up orange on the screen. It's actually red. And it's from Changes. No idea, but look at that. Beautiful summer dress. That's your type of colour. Same with this red one. Bit slinky. I'll have a gander upstairs in a minute as well. See, this is quite cool. Look. Two-toned. Imagine yourself on the French Riviera wearing that. Look at that, look. Play suit. Nice. Thank you, Subhuman. Nothing that's really for me today, although those boots are quite nice. But I do want to get chips from the chippy today, and we only have a tenner to our name currently. We are down to my last pennies until Friday. It's been a very rough month, I tell you. And you do get your normal shoes and stuff. But we will have a look upstairs, because I do like to have a full look. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 charity shops in total. 7. So I used to look at all 7 here, and then when I used to go to work, I think there are 6 or 7 in Durham as well. So theoretically, I could look at 14 charity shops a week, do the 7 here, do the 7 in Durham. Durham ones are a bit more expensive. I find that the Durham charity shops are more pricey. This one has always been reasonably priced. It is the best charity shop in the area. I think it's the best charity shop in the area. For price, anyway. Now the pictures are still here. Look at them. What have we got here? There we go. Here it is. Look. The two I said about the other day are still here. Look. You got the perfume one and the shoe one. They're all still here. And if you want, you could also have a big chicken or hen. Got your cushions. Got photo frames now. The electrics are now downstairs, so you've got space for all your cases, because I'm sure many of you will be going on holiday eventually. Get all your books. Sometimes they'll have beds in here. They've single beds in here. You get your curtains, which my house needs curtains eventually. I haven't got any curtains in my house apart from the net ones in my bedroom, because I'm in a flat and no one's going to be looking in my window. No one's looking in my window upstairs. Oh look, they got a central perk top. I actually own one of them. Then you get all your games, get all your books. Haven't bought a book in a while. At the minute, I've been buying my magazines each month. And you get all your baby stuff. If you saw, I got that xylophone for Willow the other week, which I haven't managed to give to her yet. Hoping to see Willow on Sunday. Hopefully. Go see little Bubs on Sunday and hang out with her. Oh, let's the hungry caterpillar. Look at him. Look. Oh. Or whatever his name is. Oh, it's the Aldi caterpillar. It's the Aldi one, because each store seems to make a cake now with a caterpillar. It's weird. What do we got? Got ladybug. Got a dinosaur. Look at that. It's cute. Couple of books. Couple of dinosaurs. That's quite cool. That. It's a weighted elephant. Really cool. You get your kids' clothes and everything else. It looks really cool. Not seeing anything today that catches my eye for Willow. I do pick up a couple of bits for her on occasion, now and then. You know. If you see a Coach Eli costume in there for Halloween, then buy it. Oh, you're funny, subhuman. Okay. Right. Shoes, furniture, shoes and stuff. So you get a good variety of stuff in there. There's a nice variety in there. And right, so you have 3 charity shops down there. There are 2 over there, and there's 1 over there. So let's head over this way, shall we? I still fancy some chips. I still need a chippy fix. I've been dying for chips since like last night. I'm like crying out to get some chips. But you get Packed, which is over here, which is the animal one. And then you've got Hospice, Break, Cancer, Each, Sue Ryder, and the Children's Society. So you got 7 in total. Just in case you need 7 charity shops. You probably don't, but there's 7. I don't know if anyone needs 7 charity shops, but that's what we got. which seems a lot, but that's what we currently have. So make sure I don't get run over today. Make sure we don't get run over would be good. Cross over. Fruit. So, I don't know if Chippy is open yet. I'm dying for some chips. But we shall see. Or maybe we should go in Pact. Well, let's go have a look at Pact first, and then we'll get something to eat, yeah? What do you think? Do you like the idea? Maybe. We'll take a look in Pact first because we're right opposite Pact. We'll have a look there and then we'll go for Chippies. Because they have a sale rail outside as well. So we'll just disappear down here for a sec. Oh, Mother's Day.
You gotta get that.
I will.
Come on now.
Look, mate. Where'd you get nothing? What? Why? What'd you get? Bones. I just walked to see that.
A green jumper. Not really seeing anything jumping out at me. A nice little skirt there. If you can see that, black skirt. Pink jumper. No. Nothing's really jumping out. I mean, I usually buy a bigger size than I need. Yeah, get Pact first, then Chippies. Yeah, Chippy time. I mean, this is quite nice. I mean, look, it kind of matches my shoes. But they do have some nice stuff in here for £1, you know, depending on your size. They do cater right the way from small right the way up. So, you know, do take a look in all the sizes. Let's take a gander inside. I don't think we're going to get anything today, but we shall have a gander. So this one is a really nice building as well. You get your little books in the corner. You get your clothes again, men's, women's, children's. Not as many kids. I think they do a lot of kids' clothes. It's probably not getting to the type of weather for coats, but see, look, they do really fancy shoes in this one. We're talking glitz and glamour shoes, proper glitzy. You do get clothes indoors. The ones outside on the rail are generally £1. Some aren't. You have to check the prices. Bags are quite cheap. I bought quite a few. Look at these, look. Glittery boots again. Then you get your men's, which men don't really have a lot. I mean, that's kind of cool. Look. The Kellogg's and all that. What's your favourite cereal? Mine's Cinnamon Grahams. Let's have a look.
Thank you.
Have a look, see. They've got little gnomes.
They're your dad again, is
Little
he?
gnomes. vegan. And books, little bits and pieces.
Yeah, she's still at Swaffham. Yeah.
Look. It's beachy.
Ah, right. No, yesterday morning they had to take her up to King's Lynn Hospital because she had too much potassium in her blood. Yeah, but she saw the man that saw her last time about her heart. Apparently too much potassium caused a heart attack. So he said to me,
Not really seeing much today. Not as much as usual. Get all your little bits, your puzzles and stuff. Like I said, I don't really have. I don't usually eat cereal, but maybe Fruity Pebbles. Fruity Pebbles. That's a small charity. Well, it's the biggest. Okay. It's technically the biggest charity shop compared to this one or Simon's at the hospice. But the hospice is only big because it has 2 levels. This one is big in floor space. I know you're going to say, but your charity shops in America are like, what is it, Goodwill? And Goodwill is like an entire warehouse. We don't have charity shops that big here. We have like individual, like little tiny charity shops spread all over, not like a big warehouse. Although Simon's is quite big, the hospice, but it is on 2 levels. You get packed, which is quite big. The rest of them are quite small. Charity shop wise, none of them are like overly big. Oh, look, that guy's got chips. Chippy's got to be open. Chippy's got to be open now. Yes, look, it says open. Chippies are open. Hopefully I can afford it. Hopefully we can afford it. We need some chippies. Hello. We need chippies. Now it's open. Whoa. Oh. I don't want to break it. It's all new. We'll see. We need cheap chips. So I can afford that and a drink. How much a can's a drink?
130.
380. I'm trying to work out whether I can afford it. Put you down there a sec.
We're going to change it.
380. Can I just get a small portion of chips and a can of drink?
Yeah, what kind of?
Coke, Pepsi.
Coke.
Yeah, either of them. Coke, Pepsi.
Open or wrapped up?
Can I have them wrapped up?
Coke and a portion of chips.
Yeah. Just a fortnight.
Would you like salt vinegar?
Yes, please. Take a little fork on me as well. I know, be fine as is. Right, let's go eat my chippies. Result. I got the chips. Right, now we go. Now we're going to go sit in the dog. The reason why the charity shops in America are crap is because people buy anything that isn't worth anything before you get it, and then the people who work at the places take it before anybody. Oh, people will buy stuff like school textbooks in bulk from charity shops and turn around and resell them for more on the internet. Yeah, you do get what you call price hikes. You'll get people buy stuff from a charity shop, or in your case, Goodwill bins, and then they will buy them like in bulk or whatever, and then price hike them, as they call it, and then sell them for more than they're worth, or to make a profit. Ooh, look. Harvesting. Yeah, it's called price hiking. You buy it from like car boots, charity shops, anything like that as a reseller. Take it to your store online, whether it be Vinted, eBay, whatever, up the price slightly, and then sell it off at a profit. But technically it's not a profit to the people who are buying it, because had it been left in the store for somebody that actually wanted to buy it, they would have bought it at the lower price instead of having the price hiking by a reseller. So, I mean, reselling is all right, but it's also kind of a nasty game when you price hike an item to resell it at a profit for yourself, but the person who's buying it isn't getting a good deal because they could have got it for the original price. So you have to see it from both ways. They're also trying to make a business, understandably, but in hindsight, I mean, I do reselling myself, but I don't resell as much as I used to. I used to have a business on eBay and I used to do really well. I mean, during the pandemic, I made a killing on my business that I already had, because I had a business before the pandemic hit on eBay, and I made a killing during the pandemic. I had stuff flying out because obviously people couldn't go out. After the pandemic and people could go out, things died down like they were going to, and went kind of back to what they normally were. So you got like the dip. And then eBay put their commission up really badly. So I don't do eBay anymore. I sell on Vinted, because Vinted don't charge you a percentage of your sales. You're entitled to the whole of your purchase, the whole of your item value. The customer pays for the postage, not you. It works out better on Vinted. It's more profitable for you. And technically, because you don't have to give a percentage to eBay, you can charge a little less for your stuff but still make a profit, because you don't have to count for the 20 or 25% that eBay take in fees. So if you're taking an item like me, I take some of the clothes rail stuff for £1, whack it onto Vinted for 4 or 5 quid, pay no fees. Say I sell an item for £5 that I paid £1 for. I make £4 whole profit entirely, the whole thing. If I'd have sold that item on eBay, paying £1, making £5, then having to pay the fees to eBay, I'd probably end up with like £3.50. I probably lose £1.50 from selling that item. So I then bought an item for £1, sold it for £5, maybe got £3.50. So I only made £2.50. If I sell it on Vinted, which I bought for £1, made £5, I get to keep £4, twice the money. I get to keep twice the money by selling it on Vinted, because Vinted don't charge fees. And eBay do. And eBay's been hiking their prices up on their commission and everything for years. And now it's just ridiculous. People will gravitate to Depop, Vinted, because that's not charging. I don't know if Depop charges a commission. Never sold on Depop. I don't have enough stuff that would warrant having a Depop account, but places like Depop, especially if you want like your alternative stuff, vintagey, retro is the place to go for Depop. Vinted is more the brand names. Obviously you have to have authenticity for the brand names when you sell them. Things like Nike, Adidas, anything like that, you've got to have all your paperwork and all your ducks in a row to sell on there. And I sell the Marvel and DC stuff, and I've never had a problem with authenticity. And as long as you got your certificates and all your paperwork and shit, you know, all sorted, you won't have any problems. It's trying to sell stuff without the authentication certificate, or trying to sell scamming brand names and stuff like that. You have to be careful, obviously. Anything you buy off a website, a Vinted, and eBay, you gotta check the authenticity of anything that you buy, really. Always check your certificates, always check brand names or codes on stuff when you buy stuff. I mean, Marvel and Vinted, selling Marvel and DC on Vinted, it's quite easily. I've never had a problem, to be honest. But, you know, there are people out there that will try and scam you. Let's put you down on my bag. I'm going to have to turn you around. Got my chippies, finally. I've been wanting these for the last hour and a half. Got my chippies. I'm going to sit here, talk to you guys, and chow down on some chips I can't really afford. But we've bought them, so it's too late now. This is a good portion of chippies as well. He does not let me down. So this is a small portion of chips. It's £2.80. But I'll show you. This is £2.80 for a portion of chips. Look. This is what I get. I mean, on camera it looks quite small. In real life they're quite big. I wanted cheesy chips, but they're £3.80, and I only had a £5, and I wouldn't have got my drink if I'd have got my cheesy chips, but they got salt and vinegar on, so got a drink, and we're gonna plow into these chippies. Look, I'm gonna chip, and we'll just have a little bit of a chill. Chips and chill, we'll call it. We'll rechange the title to Chips and Chill. But there's some good chippies. Must admit, Mr. Chips has put his prices up recently, but he did have the entire front of the store remodeled. So, and to be fair, he hasn't put his prices up since probably the pandemic was the last time he put his prices up, just slightly. Each to their own. £2.80 is a lot, I guess. We do get nice portion sizes though. The portion size is quite good. I always get given a little extra. My son knows one of the guys that works in there, and I generally get a little bit extra, which is nice. But they are really nice, crispy, fluffy chips. They're good. Never had a portion from Mr. Chips that I don't like. They're always pretty good chips. Another thing, they're always warm. Never had cold chips from them. No matter what time of day, they've always got warm chips. I liked your 3.5 mile live stream you did. Thanks for doing that video. That was a good laugh. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I mean, it's not very often I walk that distance, I must admit. I do have to be careful with my back, how far I push it. But I thought I would film it because I was on my own. I could have played music the entire time I was walking, and I thought, you know what, I might as well do a live stream, get some watch hours. Where's the harm in getting watch hours? So I thought I'd walk and talk. We had a good discussion on safety, what to do while walking alone, what to take with you. We had a talk about Coach Eli. We had a talk about on a lot of stuff. It was a good stream. It had a bit for everybody, no matter who you are. You know, after you did that stream, Eli put a community post up about his wardrobe. He told everybody he has a lot of clothes that hasn't even been worn yet. Then you explain, if he's got lots of clothes that haven't been worn yet, why does he have 500 videos of him in the same jacket? Eli's had that same coat that he wears, that grey Under Armour coat. He's had that since I can remember him starting to do the walks about 4 years ago. So that coat has been in, must be at least every other stream for the last 4 years, at least. Personally, you think he'd have some fashion sense as a life coach, but he's not a fashion coach, he's a life coach. My fashion is always good. You want to see my top today? My top today says, I'm not always a bitch. Just kidding, go F yourself. See? Yeah, it says, I'm not always a bitch. Just kidding, go F yourself. I only said that because I'm monetized. I have fashion. I have that. I have my black and white cardigan on. I have my coat. I have my hat. I also have my stylish trainers, which I will now show you, Subhuman. These are my trainers. They are in lime green. Like a lime greenie. And then my socks today are... My socks are cheeseburger. I don't know if you can see that. My socks are cheeseburger socks. So I have style. Yeah. I have style, unlike some people. Yeah. My clothes always speak. Yeah. Those are big laces. Oh, yeah. They're really nice, comfy shoes, though. And they were only £30, so... Comfort is always my goal. I always have a hat, because whether it's rainy or sunny, a hat is always good. If you're out in the sun, you won't get sunburn, especially on the back of my ears. And if it's cold, then you've got a hat on if it's in the winter. If it rains, my hair won't get wet. A hat has many features. It's not just about looking good, although I do look good in a hat. And I do have many hats. Hats are good in the sun, the wind, the rain, snow, whatever. Hats have a purpose all year round. Eli's hat is terrible. His hats are so discoloured, the only way he's ever going to get rid of his hats is if they crumble in his hand. He needs new hats because they're discoloured now. Like, sort your hats out, Eli. You definitely need to sort your hats out. Because they're getting a bit grubby. Or wash them. Give your hat a rub over with a baby wipe. Or something. Because your hats need a refresh. But he wears the same clothes because he thinks Under Armour is a good brand. It's just cheap crap that he gets from a warehouse. In bulk. He said he's got an entire closet of Under Armour for days. What's he trying to prove? Just because you do a walk and you're wearing Under Armour doesn't mean you're healthy. Anyone can take a walk. A person in a wheelchair technically walks. Does wearing Under Armour make you better than everybody else? Going, look, I'm a life coach. I wear Under Armour. Yeah. Happy for you. Doesn't make you any better than anybody else just because you wear the Under Armour brand. Because Under Armour's nothing special. I don't think it is. I have never once thought I need to buy some Under Armour, and we sell it in the UK. Never gravitated towards it. I'm not into the whole sporty thing, or in Eli's case, faking it. And technically, although he wants to claim walking as exercise, and it is, I bet Eli's never seen the inside of a gym. You think he's ever been to a gym, Subhuman? You think he's ever done some weights or some shit like that and gone to a gym and done an actual workout? I wonder if he's actually ever set foot in a gym, like an actual gym. He claims that he's doing these walks and he's fit and he's healthy. I bet he's never set foot in a gym. I bet he's never done a set of weights, set of reps. Bench press. Can you imagine Eli bench pressing? I have a fucking heart attack. I think he had said he had done some weightlifting. What? Weightlifting what? Really? I highly doubt that. His scrawny little arms and man boobs, I don't think he's lifting anything more than a beer can for Dawn. Ah. Got a hard chippy. Would you honestly believe that Eli can weightlift? J-Rom can weightlift. Even I can. I lift a good 25, 30 kilograms at work, which is quite a lot for a woman. I highly doubt he's ever seen a gym. And if he's weightlifting, what's with the scrawny little arms struggling to hold the camera? What's with the man boobs? If he's doing his pectorals and that, shouldn't the man boobs disappear? That guy hadn't seen a gym. Not a chance he's been in a gym. Don't believe it. The only reason he'd say he's done weightlifting and that is to try and one-up J-Rom. And he couldn't one-up J-Rom because J-Rom could probably lift twice as much. Anna could probably lift more than Eli could. He said he has the body type he has become. It's because he's Greek. Are you trying to tell me man boobs because he's Greek? You have man boobs because you're Greek? Really? I mean, okay. Wow. He'll do anything just to one-up J-Rom anyway. Doesn't matter what you say online. He's always wanting them. Eli's always tried to one-up him. It never works because no one ever believes him. I dare Eli to go to a gym and actually do some weightlifting on camera. He couldn't do it. He couldn't lift more than like... Oh, I give you 5 kilograms and I bet Eli couldn't lift it. He'd struggle. He's got weedy little arms. He's got no muscle tone at all. And man boobs they don't count. Raven, whatever happened to the GNA organization he had? Those people working for him, like Randy Taylor, where did those people go? I don't know. I don't know what he claims. He claims his GNA organization is still a thing, and that he has over 5,000 people on LinkedIn and Facebook, and I don't know. I don't know. He claims a lot. He claims a lot, but have you ever seen anything to back up his claim, though? If you listen to him and you ask about his GNA, he'll tell you he's got over 5,000 followers between LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook and all of that, and that he's still in contact with all of them. If he's still in contact with all of them, why is none of these 5,000 people supporting him on his YouTube channel? Why doesn't he use his GNA organizational logbook that he supposedly has with 5,000 people on LinkedIn and that? Why doesn't he bring them onto YouTube and help his business through YouTube? But he claims that if he was to bring his 5,000 people that he claims he has to YouTube, all we would do would be is troll him and his people. Well, I have seen the Walking with Purpose live streams, and I've never seen the people in there. No, me neither. No, he's always claimed that if he brought them to YouTube, then we would troll and harass them, and he'd have no business left. But if he brought them to YouTube, they would super chat him, they might donate to him, he might have members. Do you see what I mean? He's using YouTube to make a business, but he's not bringing his business to YouTube. He technically claims, in brackets, 5,000 people elsewhere. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any business sense to have people elsewhere. Why not have the 5,000 people on YouTube? You know, to super chat and follow you and to maybe... Hi. I'm very sorry, but I am starving. You cannot have none. Lovely as you are.
Lovely as you are, you're not guessing. Wait. Come here.
You're very cute, though. Sorry, but I wouldn't even give my kids my chips.
No.
I'm sorry. No kids are getting my chips. No pooch.
Every time you get to eat them in peace, isn't it?
That's why I'm in a park in the middle of nowhere. Aww. Such a cutie. But no. Nuh-uh. Sorry. Little Poochie wanted my chips. I wouldn't even give my kids my chips. Not happening. Mm-mm. I've worked too long and too hard to get some chips. But no, I've never understood the 5,000 people on LinkedIn and that, but not bringing him to YouTube to make his audience bigger. I just don't get it. Maybe I'm not meant to. Maybe he has this weird and wonderful business plan that's going to take off and work, but I don't see it. Oh, I wish I had a tissue on me because I got one. It doesn't make any sense. If I had 5,000 people elsewhere that apparently were part of the business, why wouldn't you use the 5,000 people for testimonials? He claims that he wouldn't bring them on his channel for testimonials because we would just harass the person. But if you don't have testimonials to prove that you have a good company, no one's going to believe you. No one's going to believe that you are a successful life coach. If you don't have the testimonials from people to say, I've had life coaching from this guy and he's really good, he really helped me, he did this, that, and the other. We've said this for years. For your company to thrive as a life coaching company, you need testimonials to prove that you have helped somebody, that you have got somebody to their goal. And if you don't have testimonials from people to show that you've actually helped them, no one's going to believe you. We've said this before. Get a few people from his 5,000 that he claims he's got. Have a few of them do a off-camera video, maybe just a voice, with an avatar on a StreamYard. Have them do a testimonial, you know, explaining how he helped you, how he met him, and blah, blah, blah. And it would benefit his company tenfold. I think they may... I think what may have happened is he wasn't active in the organisation anymore after like 2018, 2019, because he didn't have those yearly dinners and meetups that we're having. No, I think that's why he has let the trademark and such lapse. I mean, this whole lawsuit thing with Tammy, it's a bit crazy, I'm not going to lie. Let me just put this in the bin. Let me put you on here. The whole lawsuit thing for me, is it crazy? Yes. Is anyone really going to win? I mean, I don't know. I think a judge is going to think that it's petty YouTube drama that could have been avoided being out of court. And that really, it's gone... I don't want to shit on Tammy or Eli really, but I think it's gone too far. Really, like, Eli wants to sue Tammy for 10 grand. I mean, that's just crazy. That's like gone way too far, because, you know, first of all, if it was the opposite way round and Tammy was suing Eli for 10 grand, he wouldn't have the money. And to pick a number like that, I think he's picked the number to scare Tammy. I think it's scare tactics to pick a really high number like 10 grand, knowing that Tammy not necessarily couldn't afford it, but it makes it a scare tactic nonetheless. Does either of them deserve money? Tammy deserves the $2,500 that she was owed when she was doing her YouTube channel, and he flagged her, and the £2,500 that was part of that channel was meant to go to domestic violence victims. That in itself, I think, is wrong. I think he should pay that back, because that's common. That's the right thing to do. We were raising money for domestic violence. If you have a heart about charity, women, or domestic violence victims, you would pay that money to Tammy so she could go and donate it like she'd planned. Eli's suing for £10,000 for emotional damage due to the stress he's been under, with her supposedly trying to steal the GNA from under him. Yes, he's probably been under a lot of stress. I don't dispute that. Having all this is probably a lot. He has got stuff going on with Dawn, medically. You know, Dawn's daughter's having a baby. They've had a lot on. Is it worth £10,000 in emotional stress? No, not close. Does he deserve some kind of retribution for what he's been through? A judge might say yes and give him a couple of thousand and just call it even between him and Tammy, and just say, look, we're just going to call it even. You don't owe him, he doesn't owe you. This needs to kind of grow up a bit and go your separate ways. The more likelihood is he'll give Tammy the $2,500 she's owed for the domestic violence charity that she was raising for. And if Eli was lucky, he might get 1,000 in restitution for the pain and suffering he's been under. So if Tammy was lucky, she might get 1,500 and 1,000 would stay with Eli. Worst case scenario is they get nothing. They throw them both out and tell them they're both juvenile and get the fuck out of my courtroom. Like, what's a YouTube beef doing in a courtroom? The question you have to ask yourselves is it a YouTube beef at this point? Or is it a conflict of two people going at loggerheads for the GNA? Who technically owns the GNA right now? Eli's claim is he's in commerce. He's got a this, that, and the other. He doesn't have a license, which does surprise me that he was that stupid not to have one. You're telling me a 15-year successful entrepreneur didn't check that he needed to have a license for a business in California? I cannot believe you would not check that. If you knew you needed to be in commerce and have a copyrighted trademark and have a number, an NI number, whatever it is, I cannot believe you then wouldn't think you need a license. After all of that paperwork to get everything like that, you then wouldn't think you need a license for a company? I hate to believe that he would somehow miss that part. It does seem a stretch that after all of the paperwork, you wouldn't have come up at any point that you needed a license. And you're meant to be a life coach. Like, seriously, Eli. 15-year successful entrepreneur and you didn't know you needed a license for a business because you're a sole trader. If you are in the UK sole trading, you need a license. It's pretty obvious that you have to have licenses to run businesses. You can't just run a business fucking willy-nilly without a license in any country legally. So to believe that a 15-year coach who's apparently a successful businessman wouldn't know he needed a license sounds stupid to everybody. Now, the fact that he doesn't also have a trademark because he let the copyright on his trademark slip, and that he's now saying that he has the copyright on the trademark because he's put it in to have it again, doesn't necessarily work that like Eli. And to say that she can't have the GNA because he has the Genuine Networking Association and that she needs to get a different name and it's been in commerce for 15 years so I have to own it, that doesn't work like that. If Tammy didn't think for one sec she had a chance of winning with all of this paperwork she's done, you know, with the copyright, the GNA, the licensing, the ENI number, the whole fucking works. If she honestly thought for a minute that she was going to lose, she wouldn't have put all this money into it. She wouldn't put the time and effort. She wouldn't have put her YouTube channel at risk. Why would you? Why would you go to this extent if you didn't think you had a case? And I think that's why he had the trademark. And yeah, he just, I think at the point where things started to lapse was when he lost his copyright and all that, I believe, when him and Dana split. When him and Dana split, he obviously was preoccupied with the split from her. So he didn't chase up his copyright, he didn't chase up this, that, and the other, and he kind of let his entire company slip because she left him. So if he'd like to blame Dana for the fact that all of his business wasn't, in order at that point, but the only person he should really be blaming is himself. It wasn't Dana's fault that she left you and you let your business go to shit. He also stopped doing all of these events, I think around when Dana left. Because before them, he was doing them. It's entirely up to him how he runs his business. But I do believe that since Dana left him, he let things slip. Things got a bit out of hand. And now he's kind of fucked. And I don't see a way out for him. If Tammy, by the love of God, manages to have the GNA organization with all her paperwork, he will have to change his websites, his company name. He'll have to re-register for a new license to actually have one this time. He'll have to change his entire GNA thing. He'll be gone. And people have asked him, what happens if you lose? There is a chance you could lose. Tammy does have a lot of evidence that is actually good evidence. Like, she does have an ENI number. She does have a license, unlike Eli. She actually applied for one under the GNA. She has everything he should originally have had to have a business that he didn't have. So if he didn't have it and she's applied for it and she's got it, does she owe the GNA? I would say so. Obviously, judge is going to make his final decision, but judging on the information that we have, Tammy has the license. Tammy has put in a copyright for the GNA. She's done all her background checks. She's done all her work. I would say there's a good 80 to 90% chance of her owning it. And him having to restructure his entire company because he let it slip. And unfortunately, if you don't have a license, you don't have a copyrighted trademark, and you let things slip, people are allowed to take it off you. Well, I know this is really stressing him out because he had so many hypothetical conversations with the judge and there wouldn't be enough time in the court for. No, do you know, in all honesty, a judge looks at all the information before you go to court anyway. In small claims, you send everything in weeks in advance, and then there's a cut-off point where you can't send any more stuff in, and then the small claims judge looks at the case ahead of time, and I would say a good 90% of the time before you go to court that day, nigh on the judge has already made a decision based on the evidence he already has. Yes, he'll hear a 5-minute testimonial from you on why you think you should get this money or why you think she or her is in the right or the wrong, but a good 90% of the time they've already decided on a case. They've already decided. So if Eli thinks he's going to go in there and start running his mouth about how he's been bullied and harassed and trolled, no one cares about that. It's not a bullying, harassing and trolling case on the internet that they're filing for. It's filing for who owns the GNA. At the end of the day, this is a business small claims. It's about who owns the company and who owes damages to each other. It's not about the trolling on YouTube. It's not about the harassing on YouTube. It's not even necessarily about having Tammy's channel took down. It's basically who owns the GNA and who is costing who damages at the end of the day. And in my case, I think it's an open and shut case on who wins. But, as I will always say, it's not necessarily that cut and dry. There is a chance, and it is a very small chance, that because Eli has had it in commerce for 10 years, and because he did have a registered trademark at one point, but he didn't have a license, but he did have a ENI what's-it number, but he didn't think he needed a license because he was a sole trader, he has some backing, but I don't think it's enough to tell a judge that if you are, as you claim, a 15-year successful entrepreneur, that you wouldn't know you needed a license. I think if he'd have had the license in his name, I think he'd win. I do. I honestly believe that at that point, had he have had the license, which he kept claiming he had for months and months, and it turns out he doesn't. If he'd have had that license with the EMI number, the commerce, and the copyrighted trademark, he'd have won outright. Tammy wouldn't have stood a chance. But because the copyright slipped, he doesn't have the license, I think he's fucked. I think because Tammy now has them and has the license that he should have known he needed. Yes, Tammy doesn't own the copyrighted trademark, but she has put a request in it, but then so is Eli. So, but because he doesn't own it yet, it doesn't mean Tammy can't. It just means things are in the pipeline. I think a problem Eli might have, I think that G&A hasn't been active in recent years, and so apparently it wouldn't have lost money from Tammy. No, he claims, and he claims, it's a very small claims anyway, he claims that his business has been declaring taxes for the last 10, 11 years, or however long it's been in commerce. The problem is, if you look at the figures, if you go back to, God, when did he say, like 2018, 2019, and you look at his tax records, I guarantee you, he hasn't made, I think he said his business is worth like $500,000. It's not worth $500,000. He said about suing for $500,000 in damages because that's what his business would earn if then it was taken away from him. He's doolally. He doolally. His business is not worth $500,000. Can you remember when he wanted to sue? Oh, he wanted to sue Wise Night Owl for £5 million. Can you remember that? He wanted to sue Lycan for about $5 million as well, claiming he damaged his business. Like, it was Wise Night Owl. He wanted to take $5 million off of him, claiming that if Wise Night Owl hadn't continued to pay Lycan to go at him, his business would have thrived and been successful. And then the other day, he said that really the damages to his company should be $500,000. $500,000. I nearly fell off my chair. I don't think his company should get $500,000 in damages. I don't know where he got that number from. You look at his tax records, you wouldn't get $500,000 in damages. It's not worth that much. Not even close. You might get 10k. Might get 10k in damages, but his company ain't worth $500,000. Even at the extent of Lycan going at him for years, it's not worth $500,000. Good morning, Red Door Woman. The bottom line is Eden doesn't have a life of business. He has no license, which I discussed, or DBA, which is acquired, and eventually he has been committing fraud for years. Yeah. You're telling me that when he goes to the judge, he can just say, yeah, I didn't know I needed a license, but I've been running a company for 11 years without knowing I needed one. How do you think that's going to sit with a judge? I ran a 15-year successful entrepreneur company. Tammy wants to take it, but for the last 15 years, I didn't know I needed a license, sir. But now I know I need a license. I'm going to go out and get one, which means for the last 15 years, you've been running a license, running a business without a license, which is technically illegal. So you go ahead, Eli, go tell the judge you've been running a 15-year business illegally without a license. I'm sure they'd love to hear what you have to say about that. To say you didn't think that you needed a license for a business is kind of crazy. Like, how do you think businesses run? They need licenses, correct? Am I missing somewhere where a business cannot have a license? Honestly. That Eli guy's one weird character. Oh yeah, you said it yourself, Weaves. Absolutely. Da 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 da. Come on. Go, go, go. Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it either, Weaves. His logic doesn't make any sense. We're going to sit in this chair right here because apparently this one gets the sun. And we're going to sit here for a sec. The judge has to rule according to the law. YouTube drama is irrelevant. Yes. Whether he let me turn you around so you don't have to see my face. So whether he has a beef with Tammy on the internet, this isn't about his YouTube beef. Let's outline it for anyone that's been watching my channel and hasn't seen. This is nothing to do with the beef online. The backwards and forwards from Tammy online, whether they're trolling or hating each other, has nothing to do with the small claims. The small claims is for the fact that Eli fraudulently flagged Tammy's channel for impersonating his business, which he supposedly, looking at all the evidence, doesn't own, isn't profitable, but he'll still push the issue that she's stealing the GNA. You can't steal something you don't have a license for, because you don't theoretically own it. The actual beef is the money. For Tammy, it's the principle that she was raising money for domestic violence. The channel was flagged wrongly, and Eli knew that, and Eli just wanted to stick it into Tammy and take the money, because he still believes that whatever damage and abuse he's doing to Dawn, there's no grounds to call the police, there's no grounds for concern. I beg to differ on that one. I still believe Eli's a danger. Eli said he didn't know he needed to have a license, and I don't know what Eli means by that. Does he mean he is operating his business that is exempt from... No, he's not exempt from having a license. He's a sole trader, but you need a license no matter what business you run in California. It doesn't matter whether you're... because Tammy's got an LLC. You need to have a license. Even running as a sole proprietor, you have to have a license in California. If he'd done his research to start a business and gone through commerce and knew he needed this, that, and the other, it would have come up at some point that he needed a license. Now, the question is, did he blatantly not know he needed a license, or did he blatantly not want to pay for having a license? Business was just a YouTube operation. Yeah. I mean, a judge isn't gonna... Eli seems to think that he's gonna put all this evidence in from the fact that she was bullying, harassing him and trolling him, that he's gonna get, 10, 15, 20 minutes, half hour with the judge to have a private tete-a-tete. He ain't getting that. These civil cases in small claims, an average court case is about 15 minutes. You get the fact that the judge has already gone through all the evidence. He would have looked at their behind-the-scenes stuff. So the behind-the-scenes stuff is proving you have a license, proving you have copyright, proving you have anything to do with the GNA in your name, bank accounts, LLCs, has it been in commerce? They look at everything. And then at the end of the day, if you don't have all of these and your ducks aren't all in a row, you don't own the company. Yeah, it's got nothing to do with the beef with Eli. The beef with Eli and Tammy, whether he owns the company or whether she do, will continue to go on. I think Eli and Tammy will continue to fight even when it comes to a judgment. I don't think Eli's going to let it go, because he's already threatened to sue her for more money if she takes the company off of him. Raven, you don't understand, there are only two items here. Whether or not Tammy is running a legitimate business, and if she is due compensation, that is it. Yeah, there is no YouTube beef that's going to come into it. Whether Eli believes he's going to get a private, 5-minute talk with the judge on how he's being bullied and harassed, at the end of the day, the money that Tammy lost from fraudulently flagging her channel, because Eli's butthurt that Tammy probably could run a more successful business than he can, because if his business had been successful, he wouldn't be on YouTube doing life coaching. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't even know what commerce means. No. Well, he didn't know what a license was, so it just seems that Eli just willy-nilly started a business and just hoped for the best. Because he claims repeatedly, if you've watched his channel for years, he claims he's ran a successful 15-year entrepreneurial business, but he didn't know he needed a license because he's a sole proprietor. But he knew he needed to be in commerce, he knew he needed a copyright trademark, he knew he needed an EIN number or whatever it is, the number he needed. He knew he needed all that, but you didn't know that you couldn't run a business technically or legally without a license. That just doesn't make any sense. Does not make any sense that you wouldn't know that you need a license for a business. Especially if you not only sell insurance, shouldn't you know if you sell insurance about business insurance, which I think he does business insurance? Can't remember, but you would know you need a license. Commerce is defined as the exchange of goods and services between two or more titles. It typically involves buying and selling things of value. Yeah, I mean, is life coaching technically the exchange of services? Is that what life coaching would be classed as, Red Door? Would coaching be classed as the exchange of goods and services? Does it count as a service or an exchange of service? I don't know how commerce works in America. I'm going to assume that if you are life coaching somebody and you are having them pay you, it then is technically a business, and then you need a license for it. He knew he needed a license to sell insurance, but why wouldn't you need a license to sell life coaching? Doesn't make any sense. But this is Eli. It just proves that Eli doesn't do his homework. Now, I don't know what a judge would say that if it turns out that he needed a license for all those years and he didn't have one, and he's technically been running a business for 10 or 11 years without a business license. Claiming you didn't know you needed one as a successful business entrepreneur, I don't think would wash with the judge anyway. If you know you needed everything else, you're telling me that when you Googled owning a business that you needed to go to commerce, you needed a copyright, you needed this, that, and the other. It didn't state in like big shiny letters, hey, you actually need to have a license. You're telling me he just like, you know, missed that part out. I mean, come on, Eli. It's a big stretch to believe that no one ever mentioned, not his mother, not his brother, nobody, even people in the GNA that he claims he was doing these events for and going town to town and doing live events. Nobody at any point during those conferences mentioned having a license to run a coaching business was needed to him. Or it was discussed, hey, if I want to be a life coach, do I need a license? You're telling me that conversation never popped up? Nobody ever asked about it? I mean, it's a big stretch in a 15-year period. Especially needing a license to sell insurance, but not needing a license to be a life coach, which is technically an exchange of services. But, you know, you're going to find out in like, I can't remember when the court date is, 16th or I think it's the 18th of March. The state of California has already confirmed that Tabby's business is legit. Yeah, she is totally legit. So, I don't know. It could go either way. I would assume that the judge is going to side with Tammy and award her the $2,500 damages. There's no way Eli's getting a £10,000 countersuit for damages to him Because his business doesn't even make 10k. The idea that you would claim damages at £10,000 when your business doesn't even make £10,000. I mean, what is he trying to pay for? His girlfriend's drugs and hospital bills? Maybe he's trying to pay her hospital bills with 10 grand. I would say he's barking up the wrong tree if he believes that 10 grand is viable for his pain and distress. Like absolutely not. Not happening. 10 grand? Yeah. I agree. If it comes down to deciding if the legitimacy of a business is solely determined by licenses, he does not have a license. He does not have a copyrighted trademark. He said that himself. It is pending. It's a pending copyright for the GNA logo. He does not own it. It's pending. He does not have a license. He said he didn't know he needed one. He claims his company has been in commerce for 12 or 13 years. That means dog shit. It doesn't make a difference if it's been in commerce. You do not have a license. You do not have a copyright trademark. He can have a registered E&I, whatever it is, number, all he likes, but he didn't have a license. If you don't have a license, then you were not running a legitimate company, because you didn't own the company with the license. It all goes hand in hand. You cannot have one without the other. To say, well, I had everything else but not a license. You didn't even have a copyrighted trademark, because we found that it had not been copyrighted, because you have to renew your copyright for a license. You have to renew the copyright every so many years. He didn't renew it. It passed. So he didn't own the copyright to GNA for a logo. He didn't own a license. He didn't own the copyright. Technically, he was running a business fraudulently for years and claims he didn't know. I still find that hard to believe. But each to their own, I guess. He's going to claim this and she's going to claim that. But at the end of the day, he said, she said means nothing. It'll be the whatever's in the actual paperwork that will be the deciding factor. A judge isn't going to care about a YouTube beef. He said, she said, it's about paperwork, licenses, copyrights, paper trails. You've got to have a paper trail to prove something. Paper trails are technically everything. If he had a license, then Tammy would have been able to get one under GNA. Simple as that. Yeah, if you had a license, Eli already stipulated that if the GNA license was live and active, no one else would be able to get one under the same name. Well, if he owned the GNA license, Tammy wouldn't have been able to get one. And he told us for a good 6 months he had a license, and we kept telling him, you don't have a license, we can see you don't have one. He's like, no, I have a license. I don't have to show you the paperwork for it. I don't have to prove I have a license. No, but you're not going to have to prove to a judge that you do. So when it came down to it and he couldn't prove he had a license that he didn't have, he came out on YouTube and said, yeah, I don't have a license. I didn't know I needed one. But there is paperwork, there is YouTube videos claiming he had a license for 6 months. He said it in every single video. I have a license, I have a license, I have a license. Repeatedly telling Tammy, you don't have a license, I do, I own the GNA. And he doesn't own a license. And finally came out with it on a live stream saying, look, okay, I don't own a license, but I'm in commerce, but I have this. Yes, but you don't have a license, Eli. Simple as. If you do not have a license, you therefore do not own the company. It's how it works. He should have sucked it up 6 months ago when Tammy had the license and he didn't. come out and said, look, I let it slip. I didn't get a license. I didn't know I needed one. Instead of going on for 6 months telling people he had one. He messed up big time. He messed up big time by claiming he had a license he didn't have. And then when Tammy could prove she now had the license, which if Tammy had it, how could he own it? He then came out and said, no, I don't own a license. Tammy has it, basically. Well, if you don't have the license, how do you own the company? Should have kept your mouth shut there, Eli. You let one slip there, boy. So you kind of buggered yourself. Because if you'd have came out 6 months ago and been like, yeah, I didn't know I needed a license, and you'd renew your license before this whole stuff with Tammy started really getting to be, you know, a problem for you, you could have theoretically got a license before Tammy and maybe, just maybe, have saved your ass. But you were too pig-headed to go, no, I have one, no, I have one. So while you were claiming you had a license, Tammy was already getting one for the company, so you kind of slipped up there, mate. Because while you were fixating on having one, she was taking it from under you. More fool you, Eli, for believing everything you spew out. Eli said on his live stream that ownership of a business is not established by license. Rather, the operation of a business is determined through license. Eli said ownership is determined not. No, you need a license. You can ask Red Door Woman. You need a license to run a business in California. You just do. Exclusive by license, but ownership in commerce. No. No, you need a license. Tammy's done her research. Eli may not have done his research when he started the company, but Tammy ain't going to go into this blindly saying she's got this, that, and the other unless she has. Tammy's never come out here and bullshitted that she owned this, that, and the other without a paper trail or without proof. Everything that Tammy's ever said, she can back up with an email, a proof, and everything else. Eli can't prove half the stuff he claims on YouTube. He wants to claim his business is worth £500,000. Where? How do you prove his business is worth £500,000? What evidence do you have? If you look at his taxes that went back the last 13 years, you tell me that company has generated £500,000. That would be, that would then make Tammy liable to pay £500,000 in damages because she's damaged the company reputation now. £500,000? There's no way he's paid £500,000 in taxes in 13 years. Do not believe that for a sec. Not even close. Well, what I'm saying is, Eli, there's a difference between ownership and operations. You still need a license, though. You genuinely cannot run a business in most states without a license. It's a basic request by the state itself to have a license to run a business, to make sure that it's not only a business run legitimately, that it's also run by a person who's competent at running a business. They don't just let willy-nilly people just run businesses to like scam people out of money and shit. That's why you've got to have things like LLCs. To prove you've got all your ducks in a row and that it's a viable, honest business, basically. But, you know, we shall see. The court date is what? Is it 18th of March? We don't have that long a time at all until it arrives. And the way it's going to go, I think Eli's going to lose badly. And I can see the GNA not being his anymore. I just can. And unfortunately, I think he's lost. You know, I think it's going to hit him quite hard when he loses it. And I don't know how he'll recover, to be fair, because he'd have to take GNA off everything, close down his websites, take the name off, Tammy is now incorporated both in California and in Florida, yeah. Tammy has the upper hand. She did her paperwork. She did the copyright. She's done everything as you should when you start a business. The fact that Tammy had made $2,500 in revenue, you know, when she was running her YouTube channel, you tell me that Eli's made $2,500 in the last 6 months of running the GNA. It's not profitable. Not for him anyway. But we shall see. The court case will happen. What'll happen will happen. If Tammy loses or if Eli loses, they lose. And then, you know, hopefully things on YouTube will go back to normal. Whatever normal is. Probably won't, but, you know, normal is normal. Tammy will continue to do her business. Eli will continue to hate the whole of society and we're all the bad people, and I don't know how it'll affect him when he has to lose the GNA if it comes to it. He has said already that if he loses, he will appeal. And he will take it to a higher court if he has to. I don't think he's got the funds to back that up. And I don't think Mummy Dearest wants to fund the court case. If I'm honest. My tooth hurts. Well, I'm sure the court has seen this all before and it'll be over quick. Then all the hypothetical conversations Eli has had on his life. Yeah, hypothetically, Judge. He has had quite a few conversations in his head, hasn't he? About how the GNA can, how he can talk the judge round. Like, Judge, but I was being bullied, trolled and harassed and she stole my business. Yeah, he don't care. The judge cares about facts, licenses, copyrights. YouTube beef is irrelevant. No judge is going to care about a YouTube beef. I'm sorry, but we've been through this, Eli. You could have been bullied, harassed and trolled for 30 years. No judge is going to care less about a YouTube beef where it's a he said, she said. You can send them as much information as you like. No one's going to care that you were bullied for the last 6 months. No one cares. What about the fact that you, personally, Eli, have done numerous videos on Tammy for about the last month now, every single day talking about her, and Tammy's barely said a word about you. In fact, the only words that Tammy has actually said has been directed at the court case. You personally have been delving into Tammy for the last month, saying, and I quote, I don't want to have to talk about this, but people want to know what's going on, so I need to basically tell them everything. Question is, do you though? We'll have to wait and see. I think Tammy will win. I don't think Eli's got a leg to stand on, personally. Not anymore. My eyes hurting now. It's actually quite warm sitting here compared to in the dog park. But I wanted to have my chips in peace. That's why I went to the dog park. Now I'm sitting in the sun getting some serotonin. Getting my vitamin D. Because I won't get my vitamin D sitting in my flat. It is 1:30. So I've been out of the house a couple of hours, hour and a half maybe. Kind of bored. And vitamin D is the most common vitamin deficiency, yes. I've got an entire cocktail of deficiencies that I'm lacking. I have a vitamin D deficiency, vitamin C, zinc, and vitamin B12. All of them. It's why I take 20,000 units of vitamin D every Monday. And that's why you'll see that my skin is pale. and then it's breaking out, and that I am always tired and drained. But I can't sleep because I've got insomnia. I literally had 3 hours sleep last night. What was your vitamin D level like? Non-existent. My vitamin D was 0 point something. To the extent where I'm having such a big dose. Yeah, the levels were not, there was 0 point 0 something, to the extent where I have to have 20,000 units of vitamin D every Monday, and then I have to take a blood test in a couple of weeks, and then after 16 weeks of 20,000 units on a Monday, I've then got to take 1,000 units every day for 2 years. But my vitamin D is that non-existent. That's how bad it's got. Wow, you're so low. Yeah, pretty much. I take the blood test, and the blood test is going to trace the vitamin D in my blood, and then it's also going to look at my liver function, because there's problems with my liver caused by the severity of the deficiency that I have. Because there's a slight anomaly with my liver function, which could be caused by it, but they don't have much evidence to back that up yet, hence needing another blood test and more specific blood testing directed at my liver, which kind of sucks. And then once I've had the blood tests and they've decided whether my liver has an issue or not, they can't give me any more vitamin D. I am like, the 20,000 units I'm taking every Monday, they can't give me any more vitamin D. That's like the biggest dosage you can have. I don't know, I can't remember what the doctor said, whether there was any alternative, because they make you incredibly sick. The tablet I take on a Monday of 20,000 units of vitamin D, I feel incredibly sick for hours. It's really bad, but it's not seeming to make a difference. I've took it for 5 weeks now. I still feel as tired as ever. I still feel drained, but there are other factors that also aren't helping. The fact that I'm underweight as well doesn't help. I did have chips for lunch though, as you well saw, so maybe one bag of chips isn't going to put weight on, but still. I'm underweight, and then with the eating disorder as well, it's making it incredibly hard to put the weight on and to have the vitamin D they want me to have, because with an eating disorder I don't feel like eating, and because of the disorder, I then don't eat, and because I don't eat I get underweight, and because I'm underweight my deficiency kicks in, and then because of the deficiency, that's why my liver's playing up. So it's having a knock-on effect. But the eating disorder I've had since I was a teenager. That's never changed. I've always had that, and I've always been underweight. It's just somehow the underweight, the eating disorder have now got to a point where the deficiency's got that bad. That's why my liver's now playing up. So people don't just have liver problems from alcohol, which is when they said, oh, you might have an issue with your liver, the first thing to say is, well, I don't drink. Well, you don't have to drink to have a problem with your liver. You can be deficient in vitamins and stuff like that, and that can also affect your liver apparently. So that's also got to be looked at. So it's not good. Subhuman, it's not good. I do get pains right down where my liver is on occasion, But you can't change the habit of a lifetime. I've had an eating disorder since I was like 12, and I'm 39. If I was going to have my eating disorder sorted, it would have been sorted, 20 years ago. It's not going to happen. And then because the eating disorder puts me underweight, the underweight goes with the deficiency, and we go around in a vicious cycle. I can't have one fixed without the other. It takes a while because it's a fat soluble vitamin. Yeah, that's why I've got to take 16 weeks of it on a Monday to that 20,000 unit extent, and then take 1,000 units every day for 2 years, and then possibly have to continue taking it every day for the rest of my life. Because I don't feel any different. I've took 5 weeks of it. Every Monday, took the 20,000 units, and in 5 weeks, I still feel the same. I haven't felt any different. I still feel tired. I still have insomnia. I still get the occasional black spots in front of my eyes. The other day, I went dizzy. When I was walking home, I went dizzy. Nothing seems to have changed. I know it's only been 5 weeks, and I've got to take 16 weeks of this 20,000. I don't know, maybe I've expected something to happen too soon. Maybe I should be a bit more patient. But when you're walking around and you get like black spots in front of your eyes, or you feel so tired you want to collapse sometimes, or dizzy, it's not good, because then you don't go out of the house. And if I don't get out of my flat, I then go get the vitamin D and the serotonin they want. But I have to be careful going out because I feel the dizziness and everything else, and I feel so tired. I mean, when was the last time I'm going to suggest that you sleep more than 3 hours a day. I'm currently sleeping 3 hours a day, and I've been doing that for about the last 6 months. It's horrible. I'm so tired I'm awake at this point. So I do have an appointment to review with my doctor to help me get something for insomnia. So if I can sleep more, I can feel rejuvenated more, and then I might be able to get out more because I don't feel so dizzy. But the dizziness is also because of my low blood pressure. So it's just like a knock-on effect. I got low blood pressure too. Everything is connected, and it's hard to get out of that cycle. I have to get back to work. Oh, thank you, Red Door Woman. Thanks for popping in, though. Thank you, Red Door. Yeah, it's a hard, vicious cycle that I'm having to go round, but there's nothing I can really do to change it either. I have an eating disorder. I'm underweight. I have low vitamin D. I have low blood pressure. What am I meant to do? Yeah, sounds like low blood pressure. I got low blood pressure. I've got an eating disorder. I've got low vitamin D. Nothing's really working with me here. It's all conspiring against me, basically, because I'm going round in a circle. Everything's got a knock-on effect. When one thing goes, so does another, and that's what's happening. And all of this together is now giving me pains in my liver and problems with my liver, because one thing has affected the other, and it's all spiraled. And then because of the stress of everything that I've had to go through, the stress has then progressed, and the struggling to now having depression, because I just can't cope with everything. So it's not good. Your weight looks good though. It looks like you are the appropriate weight for your frame. I wish I was. I am technically 1.5 stone underweight last time I checked. I'm technically underweight, subhuman. My notes show that I am underweight. by about 1.5 stones at least. That was the last time I checked. I believe I've lost more since then. I believe at least another 0.5 stone has come off me. Because my trousers are like 2 sizes too big at the minute. I've dropped down to probably a size 8. And I was wearing a 10 size 12 in the UK. I've dropped down to like a size 8. I've lost a good portion of my waist and my hips. And even my chest has started to shrink. I can tell that my boobs have shrunk. I can tell that the fat deposits in them are shrinking. And so can my ex. He can also see that they're shrinking. He can see that my body's shrinking because he can see my ribs. He remarked not so long ago that you could see my ribs underneath my top. You can actually see the rib bones themselves, not just the skin over. You can quite clearly see the definitions of my ribs. I tend to hold more muscle weight, so if I am a BMI, like said, that borderline being overweight, then I still look thin. Yeah, my BMI, I don't know what it is at the minute, but I'm going to gather it's not good. I do try not to check things like my weight and my BMI, because I don't want to know how bad it is. You know, the whole thing of if you don't see it, it's not there. You know, kind of make life a bit easier if you don't look. You know, see no evil, hear no evil kind of thing. If it's not there, it doesn't happen. That old chestnut. But, yeah. We have to be a bit more cautious with what we're doing with myself, primarily. We need to. But, let's take a look-see in here. See a little duck in the window? What else we got? Some board games. Plenty of board games. And a fishy. Let's have a look-see. They're quite nice though. See the boots? They're quite nice. Ooh. See, they're always a size 5. See, the boots are size 5. But they're cute though. Let's have a look-see. Ooh. See. Ooh. That's a cute coat. I used to own one similar. Have a look. See what we got. I'm getting a bit cold sitting outside now, so I thought I'd have a little browse before we go home. Really finding much. Got a little picture. Go up the stairs. Up we go. Let's see. Little kitty bit. Up we go. Look. Oh, that nearly matches my shoes. Nearly. I know. I'm obsessed with trying to find a bag that matches my shoes. Or at least comes close to matching my shoes. But yeah, not finding anything. No jewellery at the moment to sell. If I do have some jewellery at home, I really need to get a vintage cash cow bag box sorted to get them. That's some shoes. I wish I could get somebody to take the donations at my house because I've got like 9 boxes, but no charity shops really pick up donations anymore. You have to bring them in, and I don't have a car, so such a shame. Look at this one. Not really saying anything today. It's kind of cool. Look. You look really good. Little fishies. More shoes. Yeah, sorry. Liking anything. Nothing's really catching my eye. Although the deer's quite nice. Not really spying anything. Right, onward to the next one. So the next one we have is the Big C. So the Big C is kind of a cool shop. So this is Big C. Big C. Let's have a look at this one.
Thank you.
Sorry. Let's have a look at this one. Oh, jingly of the bells. Look at him. Look at him. Look. He's quite funny. £2. A big hippo. Used to be my mum's nickname, Hippo. Used to be my mum's nickname. Was. Well, that's more of those tiny shoes. I've got a collection of those tiny shoes at home. Have a look-see. Little meerkats. Little meerkats on a bike. He's quite cute. Go around. Really? Onwards.
Yes, I'll do that for you. Yes, do, because I don't want to drop it. Right, there's your chain.
Have a look. You got your books. Morning, Eddie. Or afternoon, shall we say? It's like afternoon now. Although it's morning for you, Eddie. I haven't bought a book in a while, but then again, I do own quite a lot of books. What's this one? Ooh, Unsolved Murders, True Crime Cases. Hang on, we need to look at this one. Hang on. Look at this, look. Unsolved Murders. We'll put you up here. Hang on. £2.50. Let's have a look. Because you know I collect true crime stuff. Let's have a look what we got. Who we got in here? Hold up. What we got? Shrouded House, Hollywood Whodunit, Bodies in the Barn. That's the High Tink Effect. Scandal in Shangri-La. See that? One of my favourite cases is there. The Black Dahlia. Murder of Marilyn Shepherd. Oh, another personal favourite. Unsolved Crime, Zodiac Killer. Ooh. Ooh, British one. Here you go, look. The Case of Jill Dando. Hers was a hit. Guaranteed. After reading most of the evidence, I believe she was targeted. Hollywood whodunit? This looks quite cool. What do we think, Subhuman? Go with my collection, won't it? Bodies in the Farm. That's a really good case. Depends how graphic you like cases as well. I'm more into the in-depth one. I think we might have to get this. It's got little maps and everything in it. That's just for you, Raven. Right, fair enough. It is, to be fair, isn't it? Ooh, look, The Last Bike Ride. That's also quite a good case. Some of these I've read before. I do have these in other books, but it would go quite nicely with my collection at home on my bookshelf. As you well know, Subhuman, I have a very extensive true crime collection. It's actually quite massive, to be fair. It's the only thing my kids are getting when I die, is my true crime collection. And none of them actually have an interest in true crime apart from me, so they'll probably all be taken to a charity shop when I die. Circle of life. I buy it from a charity shop, someone else will have it when I die. Although I do have some really old ones, so I should probably take my collection to auction, really. £2.50. What do we think, Subhuman? I think it's well worth that. You pay for more than that if I just got it from somewhere like Waterstones. See that, RIP 13. We get paid on Friday anyway, so. Subhuman says buy it. Right, we're buying it then. You guilted me into it, Subhuman. Make sure you thumbs it up as well, Subhuman. We've been live streaming for 2 hours, but I wanted to go in the charity shops just before I go home. And probably have to buy a drink because I think my throat's going as well. Again. Look at that pug shop. Look at it. Look at that. Yeah, we'll get this. We can have a read this up. Well, I can have a read this afternoon, not you guys. I'm going to have a read. I've been off work for 3 months. It's driving me nuts. I've stuff to do. It's going crazy being at home all the time. Yeah, let's get the book. Why not? Let's go for it, Subhuman. We'll get it. We can always take some out of my wages early anyway. It's alright, it's no rush. Look at that as well. It's another DC thing. It's cool. Right, £2, that's... Yeah, it's not a bad price either. I to be fair, I've paid a lot more for true crime stuff.
That's £2.50.
I paid by card, please.
Yeah, of course. The card machine too large. All ready for you. Would you like a receipt?
No, it'll be fine.
Okay, thank
There
you
we
very
go.
much.
Subhuman. Perfect, thank you. Look at that. Can read that this afternoon while I'm bored. Not working. There we go. We have the book. We got the book, look. Yeah. And I don't own this one, so that'll go in my collection. I don't know if I've ever done a video of my entire collection of serial killer stuff, but I have quite a lot. I have quite a lot of serial killer stuff, and I'm talking a lot. Like, more than I probably need would be the answer. Great, yeah. I have more than I need is the answer to that. There are 3 more charity shops. You've got Each, you've got Sue Ryder, and you've got, oh God, what's it called? Oh God, can't remember. Children's Hospice, I think. Children's Society. One of them. Which we aren't going to do today. I'm going to leave these 3 charity shops, the Each one, the Children's Hospice, and Sue Ryder for another day. Because I do have the next 35 days off work. So I'm going to use my 35 days off work to spread it out a bit. I don't want to do everything on one day because I'm going to be bored out of my mind. So you do have 3 more charity shops, but we've done 4 of them. So that's all we're going to do today, and then we will do the other 3 a different day so that we spread it around a bit. Because the Each is the more expensive one. That's reasonably priced. Sue Ryder is more a new goods place rather than a charity shop, I do find. And look at the duck. Look at that duck. Look at the ducky. I can't see the ducky, but ducky. It says happy home. So we're just going to pop in here because I have a letter that needs posting that I've been trying to post for 2 days, and I keep bloody forgetting to come and post it. We're going to have a look quickly at their magazines, see if they've got any new ones in, because they sell true crime mags here. Oh yeah, we don't forget my book.